Well, greetings and salutations, comedians, fans of everything around the world and the world of movie news and whatnot. This is the Super Review Show's mixed bag coming to you live once again from many different caves. As always, I am joined by my incredible panel of co-hosts and friends, Bill and Allie. What's going on, guys?
Hey, JJ.
Hey, so glad to have you guys here. Justin's not here tonight. He is a little busy with whatever he's got to take care of, but we're going to sail the ship for him tonight as we discuss and break down and talk about and rank our top 10 Seinfeld episodes, as the title of this podcast suggests.
This was a long time coming.
We've been waiting for maybe over a year to do this.
Because we've done, we've done SpongeBob.
Family Guy.
South Park. We've done Family Guy. Is there another show we've done?
Tim Burton movies.
No, I'm talking TV shows, not movies.
We didn't do South Park.
We did do South Park. You weren't there.
You weren't here for it.
That's right. I remember that, actually. I was at a concert. That's right. But yeah, besides the point, though. So anyways, tonight we're doing and ranking and breaking down our top 10 Seinfeld episodes that we think are the best personally. And here we go. So anyways, who wants to start off tonight with their first, their number 10?
All right, so I guess I'll start. So my number 10 is the episode where Jerry, George, and Elaine go to Hollywood. Because I think Jerry was going to be on, what was it? Was it with Jay Leno?
Jay Leno, yeah, at the time.
Yes, and Kramer went to Hollywood somehow to be on Murphy Brown and somehow get caught in like a criminal scene.
So the episode called The Keys. Every episode of Seinfeld was the blank, and this is The Keys.
And I think that was their thing. How Friends is the one with blank.
Yeah,
it was a '90s thing in a way.
Kind of was like, well, the title of each episode is like The Blank or the one with was Friends, like the one with the train to, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But so your number 10 is The Keys. Okay, cool. All right.
You guys have any comments on that one?
Bill, you have anything?
I don't remember seeing this episode.
This episode was the beginning of season 4, which was a pioneering season for the show.
I know this was somehow a two-parter in a way because the season finale ended with Kramer going to Hollywood, and it leads to this.
This was the ending of season 3 was them arguing about the keys, and then Kramer goes off to Hollywood. So it's actually the trip is my number 10. Oh, okay. Sorry.
But I will count the keys as well.
Okay, let's just.
This is also where somehow the police were involved in this parking thing.
Yeah, like 911. How are you?
Genius. But again, a big shout out to the keys as well because Jerry Seinfeld wanted Kramer to give back his keys.
Yes, of course. They had a big argument about that too,
which led to this. And this was the reason why I picked number 10 instead of the keys.
Awesome.
All right. Yield.
All right. She yields. Bill.
Okay.
Number 10.
My number 10 is The Library.
Ooh.
Oh. You never returned your book, son.
Okay. For those who haven't seen the episode, Jerry gets a library fine for a book he was supposed to return over 20 years ago. And you know what's like so funny about this? The library inspector is named Bookman.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Mr. Bookman.
His name is Bookman. That's like an ice cream man being named Cone.
Literally.
Oh wow.
I'll have Mr. Bookman get in touch with you. And he's just so like, what I love about Mr. Bookman is he's just so into his job. Like, dude, you're a library inspector. You don't work for the FBI. Calm down. And also on the subplot, George discovers their old high school coach who gave him the nickname Can't Stand Ya.
Can't stand ya.
And it shows of him getting a wedgie, which he was fired, and rightfully so.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I'm starting to crack up mentally. It's ridiculous.
And I think this episode is pretty funny. And Kramer getting in with the librarian, I think that's so great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So is it my turn now?
Yeah, it is your turn.
All right, just want to let you guys know right up front. This is one of my favorite shows of all time. One of my top 2 or 3 favorite TV shows of all time. I've seen like 95% of all the episodes, pretty much. So, anyways, but my number 10, I have no honorable mentions, which you think I would, but for me personally, number 10 has to go to this one. Every time I see this episode, it just cracks me up. The Pez dispenser. Have you guys seen this one?
No, I haven't.
Too.
Oh my god! So Jerry, Elaine, and George is trying to make. There's an episode where George is dating a girl who's a classical pianist, and Jerry makes Elaine laugh by putting a Pez dispenser on her lap at the thing, and she just starts laughing hysterically, and it ruins George's night.
Oh,
Unfortunately, but it is the Jerry and the little Pez dispenser guy. Hysterical comedy. Some of the best sitcom work ever, in my opinion. That is my number 10, the Pez dispenser. I'm just going through the list here too. I'm trying to figure out like what was what, because it's hard to figure out what season it is too. Like you could, so forgive us if we jump around a lot tonight. I just want to let you guys know. So, but yeah, the Pez dispenser is my number 10. What do you got for your number 9, Allie? What do you got?
The Understudy. This is the Bette Midler softball game. I actually
I remember this episode.
I saw this, and it was so freaking hilarious from start to finish. Kramer pretty much supporting Bette Midler, getting her that special Italian ice, to George Costanza pretty much injuring Bette Midler, causing Jerry's girlfriend, the understudy, I forgot her name, to actually be Rochelle in Rochelle.
Oh my God.
I think Elaine side thing had was trying to figure out what the people were saying at her nail salon, which they were Korean, and we were able to see what they were saying.
Yes.
And I think she brought George's father, which was hilarious.
Oh yes, and he's translating everything.
You want a piece
and
of
the love affair he had in Korea.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
And honestly, this is the fun fact I realized. I think this is the first episode of Peterman.
Oh, the first episode of Peterman. How about that?
Yeah.
So good. All right. Bill, do you yield? Sorry.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
Yields. My number 9 is the Serenity Now.
Serenity Now.
Serenity Now.
That's a later episode too.
Like, okay. So Frank Costanza gets a instructional, like one of those meditation tapes to say, Serenity Now every time he gets angry. And on top of that, Frank starts up a business of computer telemarketers. He hires George and George's rival, Lloyd.
Lloyd Dobler.
I love when they're going, and George is just pissed off. I love that scene. And this is the scene that makes me laugh every time when Frank says, well done, Lloyd. And Mrs. Costanza,
oh God.
Poor George. Poor George.
George is the everyman in this case, where he's had so much trouble in life. Let's just be real, ladies. Come on.
If you think your life is bad, it could be worse. You could be George Costanza.
You could be George Costanza, legitimately. So,
and I just love at the end when Frank and his wife are fighting. They're like, Frank, Dad, can you cool on the whole Serenity Now thing? Can you say something else? Like, I don't know, Hoochie Mama. Go, Hoochie Mama. This episode always gives me a good laugh.
Oh yeah. So, anyways, do you yield, Bill?
I yield.
All right. Mine.
The yield show. We yield.
This is Jeopardy. Just kidding, everyone. No. My next one might surprise you both of you guys. So hold on, man. There's something about early, like just the first 4 or 5 seasons of the show, and it got progressively better and better. But what I'm saying is, man, this episode, I actually saw this episode for the first time ever, like a year or two ago, maybe 2021 ish. But the Fix Up, have you guys heard of this one?
No.
Oh, so George, and this is kind of like my life story, literally, in one episode of Seinfeld. Jerry, Elaine has a friend that George gets hooked up with. Like they set up a date for them, right? And it's less about the actual the dialogue. First off, I just want to say this for the rest of the show. The dialogue on Seinfeld is near on par to most sitcoms. Truly a work of art, truthfully. But yeah, George gets set up with Elaine's friend. They go on a date, but it's the dialogue between the scenes between like before. I'm sorry, I just cracked him up. It's the dialogue before they actually get set up on the date, where he's like, how's the body? Good body, and it's just like, how's the hair? It's like he's like, let me ask you something. Can you pull the hair out? Like if you put your hand in the hair, can you pull it out smoothly? He's like, he's like, and Jerry's like, yes, George, you can do that. It was just this is a great early episode of theirs. I love this episode to death. It's actually hysterically funny. I love it so much. But like, he's like, how's the body? Good body. How's the hair? Good hair. It's just so funny. The dialogue in this one episode alone is priceless. It's like it's so funny. Anyways, the Fix Up. If you haven't seen the Fix Up, gentlemen, if you're single, if you're ready to mingle, ask that friend of yours to watch the episode of the Fix Up from Seinfeld. Just want to put it out there. I yield. Allie, you're up next.
Okay, we're down to number 8.
Number 8, baby.
No, do you guys remember that umbrella swirl that Jerry sort of made?
The umbrella store?
No, it's called the checks.
The chess. Oh.
But not the chess, the checks.
Mm.
Because the money he made was from Japan. Check
Right.
as in money.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. I was thinking the wrong thing. Sorry, everyone. The checks. I think I said the chess. That's a great
No, this is like also where Kramer, literally, if you go to that picture right here on the bottom, Japanese people were sleeping in the dressers.
That's right. In his apartment building.
I think he was giving them a tour of wherever George was working. And they realized, oh, that's the guy who did the umbrella. The umbrella twirl. You're famous.
I remember this one now.
And how much was Jerry Seinfeld getting for those umbrella swirl things?
Oh, I forget. I don't remember that.
I don't know how many yens it was compared to this.
Oh, I don't remember. I haven't seen the episode in a little. I know what you're talking about. I just haven't seen them in a little bit. So
I think someone was complaining to Jerry at the time that he made the move up, not him.
Could Jerry be big in Japan, everyone? It's like,
yeah,
what?
Jerry is big in Japan.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh, Jerry. Sorry.
Oh, Jerry, yes.
Yes.
But still, would you ever do the chance of going into Kramer's apartment and sleeping in those dressers?
Absolutely not.
Bill?
No, I wouldn't.
Bill would not.
I'm claustrophobic, so no.
No, it's so funny. All right. Bill. Bill.
My number 8, and I think this is a very underrated one. The pony remark.
Ooh.
Oh, you're good. What do you got?
Okay, for those of you who've never seen this episode,
it's brilliant.
Jerry gets invited to an anniversary party for, what is she, like a cousin or something, or some
Elaine's
distant
cousin
relative?
yeah.
What was that?
Like Elaine's cousin or something like that. Yeah.
Jerry's cousin or something.
Yeah.
And and while they're at the dinner, they start talking about people who've had ponies.
Oh yeah.
And the woman goes, I had a pony. When I was a little girl in Poland, I had pony. And because Jerry said, I don't like people who had ponies. And she goes, I had pony. My sister had pony. We all had ponies. And then Jerry's in deep trouble. And and then, okay, this isn't funny. It's kind of screwed up, but like the next day, Jerry's parents are getting ready to leave, and he gets a phone call from Uncle Leo, who just keeps holding on to his arm every time he tries to talk to him.
Hello, Uncle Leo. Hello.
And he goes, oh, wait, they just walked out. Hold on, they didn't leave yet. Mom, Dad, don't get into the cab. Manya died. Manya died.
Oh my God.
And on top of all that, like Jerry's baseball team just made the finals, and the day of the funeral is on the day of the game.
Oh my gosh.
And he just feels, and he feels like when George, Jerry, and Elaine are talking, go, you can't miss the game. And then Elaine goes, he's got to go to the funeral. He may have killed her.
Mm.
And I love at the end, like after the funeral, goes, hey, I'm really sorry about that remark the other night. Oh, she was over. When he's talking to Manya's husband, going, oh, she was over that. She was much more upset about the potato salad.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I just love, and then by a stroke of luck, the game gets canceled because of rain. It gets postponed, and Jerry has a horrible game. Maybe Manya came and hexed him.
Maybe. You never know.
I love this episode.
Such a great. It's very underrated, actually. It's very. It's early Seinfeld, but it's really, really, really good. So.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this guy done. All right, you ready?
Ready.
Yeah.
Number 8. Now we're gonna start hitting some memories here. But the Bubble Boy.
Why did you put it so low?
I have a very intriguing list. You're gonna be surprised. But the Bubble Boy.
I have it higher on my list.
Okay. All right. Fair.
So if you want to hold off.
No. This is I have this. This one is great, but there are several other ones that are just a little bit better than this too. Just want to put it out there. I love it to death, though. It's like,
Fun fact.
Yes.
Where they were going upstate was Wappingers. People thought it was going to be Sullivan County, my area. But when I heard Falls, I'm like, and I did the research. I was like, oh, it's Wappingers Falls? Really?
I'm not going to disclose where we are, where we do our podcast, but we're pretty darn close to where they were. So
I didn't know they had cabins up there.
They got cabins everywhere around here.
I mean, unless it's Glens Falls.
No, that's way too far. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, this is your pick, though, right? Oh, no, it's my pick. I'm sorry.
Your pick.
Sorry. I was like,
this is my pick later on.
Okay. But the Bubble Boy, he lives in a bubble. Boy. The card says moops. Need I say?
It's more.
It's the Moors. Moops. Moops.
More.
Oh my God. Need I say more about the Bubble Boy?
No. You need to say moop.
Yeah.
Moop.
The card says moops. The card says moops.
Reminds me of that what is it, that South Park episode with the band Moop.
Oh God. But yeah, this is
I agree with Moop. 2% say yes, 1% say no, 97% say who the hell is Moop?
So season 4 has some special memories in my heart personally of Seinfeld. But yeah, like it's brilliant. I love it to death. So funny. The Bubble Boy is my number 8. Shocking, right? Hey, we're going that far. All righty. Allie, you're number 7.
7. It's The Invitations. So this is
a great episode.
I know. This is where George and Susan plan their weddings, and George decides to get cheap envelopes. And we know what happens when you lick cheap envelopes, right?
Correct.
You die of poisoning, said his ex-fiance, Susan.
Oh my God. So for those who don't know, she's licking the envelopes, and as she licks them, she gets poison.
Never buy cheap. If you're planning a wedding, don't buy cheap envelopes and lick them.
Ain't that the truth?
You can use a little water. You can use some tape. Little cute sticker tapes are cute, but don't lick the envelopes. Honestly, I don't know if there's a show that's called Dumb Ways to Die. I
I
know
think so, yeah.
there's a show called Thousand Ways to Die, which
Yeah.
is weird. This is one way, one dumb way to pass away. Sorry, Susan.
Oh yeah. Great episode though. It's actually the end of season 7 or 8, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
And after this, didn't they try to start an organization on Susan's behalf
Yeah, the not the human fund. That's a different episode.
about the poison in the envelopes?
Yeah, it was something like that. They had like a thing where oh damn it, what was it? They had the thing where the foundation. That was like the start of the next season. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
But yeah, great episode. All right. Anyways, I digress. Bill.
I am gonna get killed for putting this so low.
No, I'm just kidding. What do you got?
No super you.
No.
That's so low.
My list, my rules.
How dare you?
Oh
Both of you, how dare you?
my God. For those who don't know, my license plate literally is no Zoop for you.
Okay, so for those of you, all 2 of you who haven't seen it, there's this one guy called the Soup Nazi.
Yes.
And George asked for, what was it, for bread or something? Or
Bread.
You forgot about $3.
$3, but you just give her bread. No soup for you.
And they returned the money. I mean, he's like, no, I wanted soap.
And and you know what the thing is? It's like, on a side note, where my friend worked for a certain local baseball team.
Okay.
And they had an event where the guy who played the Soup Nazi came.
Oh, legit. Wow.
Oh, wow.
And he actually said, what's he like? I said, oh, he's a really nice guy.
Wow.
But anyway,
that's funny.
But what's so funny about this episode is Jerry Seinfeld is someone who can get away with using the word, Nazi.
Yeah.
But
now, did you know, this is just on a side note, I know this is Bill's pick. I just want to comment on it for a sec. Bill, my aunt, who lives down in the southern part of where we live, I'm not disclosing where, this is based on a true story too. You know that, right?
No, it is.
Legit. She knew someone who would go to the soup stand and actually had someone like this there. Totally serious.
So this was based on that guy.
It was based on that guy. That guy. Talking about
that guy.
Yes. The Soup Nazi was based on a real person, and I kid you not. For those of you who live in the New York area, you might have heard this story, but it's 100% true. 100% true. It's actually based on a real guy. So, and Elaine's like, "You're kissing in my line? No one kisses in my line. You just cost yourself a soup." It's so funny.
No soup for you.
No soup for you. Come back
1
year.
Okay, people are wondering why I put this so low on the list.
Oh my God, damn you. No, I'm just kidding.
My reason is because I think there are episodes that are personally funnier than this one.
I tend to agree.
And I kind of put this more on the list because it's that list. It's that episode everyone knows.
Yeah, everyone knows that one episode.
Even if someone never watched Seinfeld, if you go up and say, "No soup for you,"
they know the Soup Nazi.
They know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's true.
Because it's one of those episodes that even if you've never watched a single episode of the show, you know what they're referencing.
Yeah.
That's how iconic it's become.
There's been T-shirts of this character going "No soup for you."
And like I said, that's your license plate.
Yes, for those of you who don't know, my New York license plate is no ZUPE 4, number 4, and then the letter U. I'm not even kidding you. I don't really care. So if you want to track me or whatever, you can find where I live. Go ahead. There you go. You can DM us at the Super Review Show while you're at it too. Anyways, is it my go?
Sure, go.
All right. I know I brought up the Bubble Boy, but this is an episode I had to bring up in my top 10. The opposite. George does the opposite of every instinct he has, and his life just turns around and it gets better. So the episode, I have to just say this one sec. The episode starts off with George coming to the coffee shop, which is a real place in Manhattan or whatever. And you can check it out on the Upper West Side. And basically you can go there and it doesn't look the same. But anyways, George goes there. He's like, I'm really depressed, and then he orders like a what does he say? I just saw the episode the other day too. He's like chicken salad on rye with potato salad and a cup of tea, right? And then this woman, this beautiful blonde woman, looks at him and says, and Elaine notices it, and she's like, George, this woman just looked at you, and you should go talk to her, right? Guys, take note. And basically, he's like, Elaine, bald men who live with their parents and are unemployed do not approach strange, beautiful women. And then Jerry's like, well, this is your chance to do the opposite. Instead of being afraid of women and soaking about it for the rest of the day, chicken salad and going right up to them. So he does. And sure enough, he's like, excuse me, I couldn't help but notice you look my way. And she's like, oh, yes, you ordered the exact same lunch as me. As the next words out of George Costanza's mouth are, my name is George. I'm unemployed and I live with my parents. Like,
oh, my God.
I'm Victoria. Hi. And then he's like, oh, my God, Jerry. It's so funny. I was rolling. I still crack up to this episode to this day. It's so funny. It's like Jerry's true. He's like, if every instinct you have is wrong, then the opposite would have to be right. I'm going with that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going with that. I'm going to do the opposite of everything I want to do for the rest of my life. There you go. Because it got George where he wanted to go. And he got him a job with the New York Yankees. That's when they started with that run. They started with this episode. Yeah. The New York Yankees, Bill. The New York Yankees. The New
As our Met fan friend here hates us for saying that.
Sorry.
I know. But he goes into the Mets afterwards. Just remember that.
He actually does. That's right. Anyways, because Jerry Seinfeld's a Met fan. We forgot about that. Anyways, but the opposite, fan freaking tastic episode. Truly, guys, if you're down in the dumps, you're looking for some motivation in your life, watch this episode of Seinfeld, and you will
just watch any episode of Seinfeld.
That is true because they'll all get in.
You know what the show about nothing.
It literally is a show about nothing. It's true.
It's a show about nothing. How do we know when it's over?
I know.
And this is the one. This is the episode that closes out season 5 of Seinfeld. Wow. The opposite. Yeah. Anyways, that's my number 8. Oh no, number 7. Excuse me, 7. So
it's number 6 time.
Number 6, baby.
Happy Festivus, everybody.
Oh my God, Festivus.
It's called The Strike.
The Strike, thank you.
But this is the episode where we understand why Festivus came to be, which I forgot how.
Kruger, I got a lot of problems with you people.
And then something about George's dad being the strong one, and doesn't he offer somebody to fight him or something like that?
Do you need some assistance with this? Because we actually celebrate Festivus in our house every year.
Oh my God. I got to go to a Festivus party.
Yes.
Someone's got to have a Festivus party.
December 29th at my house. I'm not going to disclose where we are, but I'll let you know.
But this is also the episode where Kramer goes back to work at the bagel factory after a 12-year strike he was on.
You worked bagels?
Only for him.
I have this on my list too, so I'm going to abstain from talking about it.
What?
I have this on my list too, so I'm going to abstain from talking about it.
All right, I'm going to end it right here. That Kramer goes back only to go back on strike.
No bagel.
All right, I'll let you talk about it later, Bill.
Okay, my number 6 is the Pez dispenser.
We already talked about it.
Well, here's JT talked about it mostly. What I like about, and also there's a subplot when when Elaine finds out that her and Jerry's friend got messed up on drugs, and they have an intervention at his apartment going, oh, but you know who he will listen to? Jerry. He will listen to Jerry.
Jerry.
And Jerry's clapping with the Pez dispenser. But you know what is funny? The subplot with with Kramer on the polar bears.
Oh yeah.
The people who swim in like freezing water.
Literally.
And they're like, oh, we had this type of intervention for a friend of ours. Wait, don't need a polar bear anymore? Is the water too cold for you? No, guys, who wants to go do a polar plunge this January or February?
No, absolutely not. No way.
Good, me neither. But anyway, But anyway, this episode, JT talked about most of it, but this episode is hilarious.
It is a great one. It is a great one. Oh, I'm looking at my list. I'm so excited. Anyways, is this my go for number 7?
6.
Yeah.
Six. I'm sorry. I'm losing track already. I'm sorry. We're talking about so many episodes. All right. This is an episode that I actually near and dear to my heart. Man, oh man, if this isn't more relevant now, then buckle up, everyone. But the switch.
Ooh.
The switch. This episode is where Jerry is dating a woman who has a roommate, a female roommate in her apartment because they both pay for the thing, whatever, right? And anyways, Jerry wants to date the one woman, his current girlfriend, doesn't laugh at any of his jokes, and he's a comedian, and he finds that annoying. The roommate, on the other hand, is very attractive, very, very, beautiful and whatnot. And also, she finds everything that he loves very funny and very humorous. And he's like, haha, he enjoyed it. He's like, is that one of those, haha, like one of those, like, haha, is that has a nice feminine touch to it, whatever, right? Oh, the dialogue, I love it. But anyways, Jerry and George develop a plan to have them switch, do the roommate switch, where Jerry's going to try and date the other woman instead of dating the current girlfriend as well. And so this episode had me rolling on the floor. So anyways, I'm giving dating advice 101 here. But gentlemen, if you live in a metropolitan area and you live in a city, hear me out for a sec. So if you're ever in a situation where you have two women living in the same apartment complex and you want to date the other one, this is what you do. First things first, you say, I want to have a menage a trois with you and your roommate. And this course of action will have a two-pronged effect. Firstly, the very discussion of the very mention of it will have me removed from the premises. Keep going. The room then at this point, she will seek out the roommate. The girlfriend will seek out the roommate, and she'll be appalled and quite honestly questioned by the unusual request. Keep going. I'm quoting the episode. You hear me out, everyone. And the roommate. Yeah, hold on 1 second. The roommate will then the roommate will then realize she will seem somewhat flattered as it take part in the unusual request. A call is placed while the current girlfriend is known to be busy at work, and then hold on, and then you call the roommate instead of the current girlfriend, and then a friendly dinner is proffered. It's the perfect plan. So yeah, so DB, so simple. And at the very end of the episode, you know what actually happens?
What?
Jerry goes up to the woman, his current girlfriend. He's like, oh yeah. And he's like, I believe it's pronounced menage a trois. And he's like, and she's like, ooh, that's a naughty idea. So funny. Sure enough. And then Jerry's like, okay. And then wait, and then a flat cuts back to George back in the apartment. George's like, hey, how'd it go? And he's like, she's into it. And he's like, what do you mean into it? She's like, she's into the menage, and the roommate's into the menage too. And then George's like, oh my God, thank God you know me. And then Jerry's like, I can't do it.
So basically, in other words, he wants to have a three-way.
Exactly, but he didn't go through with it. And then George says to Jerry, saying no, he's like, are you crazy? This is like discovering plutonium by accident. It's so true. Oh my God, I love this show so much, and it is a very funny episode too. If you've ever seen this episode, it is hysterical. But that is what my number was. It 6, right?
Yeah, we're in the top 5.
Top 5, baby. That's
wow.
that is my number 6. The switch. I had to quote the whole thing because it's such a funny episode.
Okay, so we are halfway down on our top. We're starting our top 5 now.
Woo!
This is a very underrated episode. It's the chicken roaster.
I actually like this episode a lot more than you think.
I don't know. It's part of the latest.
Oh, I remember this one.
This is the one with the Kenny Rogers chicken sign blocking Kramer's room, causing him to not sleep, hence the red light, and him putting up a sign that said "bad chicken" on the bottom.
What are you doing in the 60s? Taking it to the streets.
But the chicken I never had his chicken, but it seems like it was good. And then he convinced Jerry to sleep in his room for one night, and you'll see.
I love this episode so much. It's not in my top 10, but it is definitely a solid episode. And Jerry replaces Jerry as Kramer, and Kramer's Jerry.
Oh
He's
my!
like, I'm stressed.
I wonder, is there still the Kenny Rogers chicken roaster place anywhere?
I would hope so.
Well, it might be down south, maybe. Who knows?
Probably down south, yeah.
But we should go there one day if it's still around. Comment below if it is still there.
Yeah, please let us know. Excuse me. All right, Bill, number 5.
My number 5 is, and Allie just talked about it, the strike.
Happy Festivus again.
All right, we can talk about this together. The strike is okay. Allie described most of the plot, and I just love when he's telling the story, a Festivus for the rest of us.
Iconic.
Festivus is back. And they go,
Festivus
George, Festivus is your heritage. And then I love it. They were over. Go. We will begin with the airing of grievances.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
You're all gonna hear about it. And then, of course, the end. Now, as Festivus continues, we go to the feats of strength.
Not the feats of strength.
This year, the auto go to Mr. Kramer. Going, I gotta go. I gotta go back to work. I know you want strike. Right? This holiday is cuckoo. And then. God, what? Damn. And then he goes, George, come over here and fight your father. And then.
Iconic.
I love that episode.
So good. We're now up to our number 5, right?
Yeah, that's my number 5. JT, your number 5.
Well, we're going to stick with the S's here for a second. The Susie.
Ooh.
Do you know what this one is at? Do you know what this one has in it?
What?
Susie?
Susie?
No. Believe it or not, George isn't at home.
Get out of here.
Message at the beep. I must be out or I'd pick up the phone.
Where would I be?
Believe it or not, I'm not home. So George tries to avoid a breakup scenario. So he stays at home all day to avoid being caught. And the answering machine is the answering machine is the ringtone of basically the greatest American hero from the 80s. It's hysterical, iconic scene. But just that one scene, I was like, Jerry's like, George, coffee shop? No, I can't go there. It's not secure. Oh, I gotta let the call go. Bye. Da, 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 believe it or not, and it's hysterical. I'm not home. Da, 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 da. That episode is hysterical. I love that episode so much. That is my number 5. Ooh, top 4, baby. Here we go, Allie. What do you got?
We gotta talk about the contest.
No way.
Yes. This is probably the first episode that got me to love. Actually, this is probably the second episode that got me to love.
Allie? That's my number 4 too.
Oh my God.
Did we?
You know what that means? 1, 2.
Wait. We put $100 down and we make a bet. We don't say we swipe right for the rest of the month.
No, I'm not making that bet. That is
Oh my God. You guys are ridiculous.
no, but okay, come on, Allie. We gotta say 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we swiped right. Okay. Pretty much the contest is about not doing something that we can't talk about on YouTube because we could get shut down.
You know, I'll just say this. They don't pleasure themselves for a month.
And the only person who won that was the one who causes this contest.
George.
Only because his mother walked in and injured herself. And she was just yelling at him the whole time. And then I don't know how everybody lost. I know Elaine lost because of Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy Jr.
I don't know how Kramer lost.
No, he just walked in. I'm out.
I'm out.
And then Jerry.
I love that when when Kramer's watching the naked women across from the and he's like watching Tiny Toons go, the wheels on the bus go round and round.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot the Tiny Toons part on there. Wow.
Oh my God. Incredible.
And
Ridiculous.
that is,
Would you ever do a weird contest like this? I mean, it is No Nut November.
Oh God.
No way.
I don't think we should
that
talk
up.
about this on air.
I mean, I know Big Mouth, is a series on Netflix, did the exact same thing as this.
Oh my God.
I don't think we should talk about this on air.
A little bit
That's all we can
X-rated.
say. If you don't know what that is, go look it up.
Just if you're just wondering what the episode is, just watch the episode of Seinfeld called The Contest. There you go.
Okay.
This is out there, but we're not there yet. So next, sorry, Bill, what do you got?
Okay. No, that was my number 4 too.
That's right. So you're good. Oh no.
So over to you, JT.
My number 4. Man. Oh man. I'm looking at it right now. My number 4 is the mid-season finale of Seinfeld season 6.
Oh.
And by God, this episode is hysterical. But the race. I love this episode so. It's just Jerry. So for those you know, Jerry and his former high school arch rival Duncan Meyer. Jerry, what do you call it? Jerry is trying to what do you call it? Jerry is he basically Jerry is incredibly fast, and Duncan suspects his speed, but you know after high school they didn't really care anything about it. So long story short, Jerry's dating a girl named Lois, which he's more than happy about because Jerry Seinfeld is a huge Superman fan. Jerry Seinfeld says, "Hey, you know," he's like, and it's Duncan's, you know, Lois is Duncan's boss, and oh my God, there's a scene in this episode where George Costanza, one of my favorite characters of all time, George Costanza, does this hysterical thing where he actually pretends he doesn't know Jerry in the coffee shop. So he walks in there, and forgive us to our podcast listeners, I'm not gonna break your eardrum, but he's like, so Jerry's talking to Duncan about he's like, there's just no way you could beat me by that much. Like, I hate puberty in the 9th grade. That's where I got my speed. And then George has no idea that Duncan has no idea that George and Jerry are friends. The reaction on Jason Alexander's face is George. He's like, no, oh my God. And he pretends like he doesn't know him. It's like, George. He's like, I'm sorry. George Costanza, Kennedy High. Oh my God. This is a sight to see. And he's like, Duncan. So because he wanted to back up the story. It was perfectly put. Something I wish more sitcoms would take care of. But it's that scene of them just like, and then the race at the very end where like, yes, but they actually race it off and Jerry wins, which is great. Such a great episode. I love that scene to death. I mean, it's my second favorite scene from Seinfeld. That meeting scene. It's so funny. It's like, oh my God, Jerry, George. It's so if you guys haven't seen that one scene, just watch that one clip. It's hysterical. Good God. That is my number 4, the race. All right, Allie, number 3.
You talk about one license plate.
Oh,
We were talking about the other one.
I'm Cosmo Kramer, the ass man.
It's the episode where he gets his license plate mixed up with real proctologist here.
Yes. So,
So
you're the
hilarious.
ass man.
I'm surprised this is not your license plate, JT.
I don't think New York State would allow it first and foremost, but I actually looked at one point. I was like, man, if I can get that.
And then I think he was taking George's mom for eye surgery, and everyone's yelling, "Hey, ass man!"
Cosmo Kramer, the ass man.
Oh
So
my goodness. I mean,
funny.
it's just a hilarious episode in general.
Yeah, I'm not the ass man. So you're the ass man.
And in the end, what they were at a proctologist office?
Yeah, because something went up someone's butt. So it actually happened. I'm not trying to make that up. So
And then the proctologist says, "Oh, you're the one who has my license plate, the ass man.
you're the ass man.
You're the."
He's just winking. He just winks at him. He's like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're the ass man."
that's it.
I didn't even think of that. That's actually a really good one too. Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't.
No. My top 3 are pretty hardcore for me. So
All right, Bill.
Over to me.
Yep.
number 3, right? Yeah.
My number 3 is the finale.
Wow. Big word.
Bold. Very, very bold right there.
Because you know what okay, we all have seen the episode.
Yeah, well, they all recap everything.
The episode is when they're about to fly to Los Angeles to go start their TV show, but when they get pulled over in what was it, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, or something?
Massachusetts, I forget that. Latham, whatever.
The plane gets and anyway, there's someone who's getting mugged and is getting carjacked. Since they just laughed and not helped him, they all get arrested in violation of the Good Samaritan law.
Oh my goodness. That actually sounds something Seinfeldish.
And then the next episode, the part 2, it's a 2-parter. They all get put on trial, and they get all the people who whatchamacallit, who they've been associated with in previous episodes, and they all testify of how terrible people they are.
Right.
And listen, I'm not a legal expert. I did not go to law school. But if you guys ever watched the YouTube channel Legal Eagle?
No.
He did a whole analysis on this. He said this actually wouldn't happen.
Oh.
It said, like, that's not a Good Samaritan law being required to help. There is something called a failure to report law, but that's like, let's say if a mandatory reporter sees a child being abused and doesn't do their job, and that's failure to report, I think. But that's not Good Samaritan laws. And like the thing is how the prosecutor's saying at the beginning of the episode, this is going to be a trial of character.
But they all end up in jail. I don't know how long they end up in jail for.
A year. But you know what? Because in the show, and I hate to say this about them, they're not good people.
Oh yeah, they were never good people to begin with.
They're terrible people.
Look at the whole series and tell me that.
And at the end of the day, I hate to say this, they'd get their just desserts. They get what they deserve, unfortunately.
Let me see. I want to double check the prison time for Good Samaritan law.
But according to Legal Eagle analysis, they said, yeah, this whole if they ended up like in real life, if they appealed this, they would get let go.
Yeah.
They would get let go if they appealed it.
Right.
In the real world.
Yeah. I was just gonna say too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like it's that button's in the worst. It's funny. We talked about this at one point, Bill, about series finale. Seinfeld. Go back and listen to our top 10 emotional moments that made us cry or whatever. We talked about this episode. At least I did, and I did cry when I first saw it. Spoilers, but the thing was about the finale. It really was like, I mean, they did kind of have closure with it at the same time, because the very first line of the pilot was, now that button's in the worst possible spot.
Okay. I did find something about the Good Samaritan law. This is in North Carolina, though. Failure to do so is a class 1 misdemeanor punishable up to 120 days in jail.
So that's like 4 months.
Give or take.
Yeah. I'm looking for New York right now.
Massachusetts, that's where they were.
But I think most in violation of Good
Samaritan.
Samaritan.
A few months, 3 months in New York. I don't know about Massachusetts.
But that says up to. I think most Good Samaritan law violations are like a fine.
Okay.
Vermont has it for up to $100.
Yeah, but and you know what? Here's a little interesting fact. This actually aired the day Frank Sinatra died.
Oh wow!
Really?
And Frank Sinatra had a heart attack, and they were rushing him to the hospital. The roads were clear because everybody was home watching the series finale of this.
Wow, that's crazy. Wow. And the Yankees were dominating. Sorry.
That was a good year.
That was a great year. Not
I was
2023.
only a baby. JT, you were just born that year.
It's still a good year.
I was born in 98 in October.
Hi.
Anyways, I digress. But the good, controversial, but good pick. I like it. Whatever. That was number 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man,
JT, what's your number 3?
The sea was angry that day, my friends.
Oh, wow.
Like an old man trying to send back soup at a deli. This episode is hysterical. Kramer and the whale. Oh my God. Bloody brilliant. Hysterical. It's like, so I pressed on it because George fakes being a marine biologist the whole episode. At the very end of the episode, he is a marine biologist by saving a whale, but a golf ball that Kramer hit into the ocean and it landed in the whale. It's hysterical. The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like an old man trying to send back soup at a deli. So I pressed on. And I could barely see from the waves crashing down upon me, but I knew something was there. So I reached my hand and felt around and pulled out the obstruction. Is that a Titleist? Hole in one, huh? Because Kramer's sucking at golf at the time. Hysterical. This is if you've not seen The Marine Biologist, you've not lived. Okay. Brilliant episode. My number 3 is The Marine Biologist. So funny. All right. Anyways, Allie, number 2.
This is the one where I get pissed off with one of you. The Bubble Boy is number 2 for me.
The what?
The
Bubble Boy.
The Bubble Boy.
JT, that's a you problem. Good night. God bless.
Oh, but Bill, I'm getting to you for my number 1 next.
What do I do?
I'll tell you when I get to number 1. But seriously,
Hey.
the only thing I gotta say about this, Larry David being the Bubble Boy and George Costanza.
Oops.
And then Kramer causes the cabin to go on fire too.
Oh, that's right. They lit the cabin on fire.
Oh, moop. And then the Bubble Boy going back to the hospital. I don't know why he was in a bubble to begin with. You guys know why?
No, I don't.
Was it just because he was injury prone, or he was immunocompromised or something like that?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't remember offhand. He might have been immunocompromised, yeah.
What moops, people? The answer to all your problems is moop.
The card says moops.
And it's Trivial Pursuit, the Bubble Boy's favorite game. All right, that's it.
Cool. Bill, number 2.
Okay, my number 2 is The Limo.
Great episode. If I could spell.
Okay. For those of you who, and I think this episode is sort of relevant to today.
Donald O'Brien.
Like, okay. For those of you who haven't seen the episode, Jerry flies in from Chicago after a show. George is there to pick him up. And George's car breaks down. And he gets it, and there's a guy walking with a sign that says O'Brien. And he goes, and he's like, oh God, this guy's gonna be waiting forever because O'Brien they wouldn't let him on the flight in Chicago. He had to get to New York City. He had to get to Madison Square Garden.
Oh.
And they impersonate as Donald O'Brien and whatchamacallit, Dylan Murphy.
Costanza.
And at first they're thinking, wait a minute, Chicago? Madison Square Garden? The Knicks are playing the Bulls tonight. So we're going to the game.
It's a great episode.
And then they said, we made some stop with a guest. And they're hiding and we're going, Mr. O'Brien, pleasure to meet you. Going, we're big fans of your book. And going, Mr. O'Brien is not. Mr. O'Brien, goes, have you ever met Mr. O'Brien before? No. Have you seen a picture of him? No. Is there a picture of him on the book? No. Wake up, O'Brien, we got company. And there's these two people in there. And then they're like saying, would you like to look over your speech for the night? And it turns out the speech is a racist and anti-Semitic speech.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it turns out that Donald O'Brien is the head of the Aryan Union or the neo-Nazis.
Yikes.
And it's funny, like near the end when they find out that George is not O'Brien, they're holding the guns against him.
That's so funny.
And there's a rally outside Madison Square Garden protesting, and then this scene right here. I love this episode. One of my
it's so funny.
It is so freaking hilarious. And you know what the funniest thing is? It's like because even though this is a serious topic, it's still relevant till today. Jerry Seinfeld, like with the Soup Nazi, is one of the few people who can get away with this.
Yes.
And I love the stand-up bit he gives at the end. Goes, I was watching a World War II movie the other day, and there were Nazis in it. Have you ever, when they realize they go Heil, Heil, how are you? Heil. Yeah, Heil. And one gave them like a casual, like, yeah, Heil, how you doing? Yeah, can you pass me the donuts?
Yeah.
But this is just so... this is so funny. Like, oh, we liked your book, The Big Game. Goes, oh, well, it's just a game. It's just a game. Everything depends on this game.
Oh, boy. All right. Is it my number 2 now, right?
Yep.
This might surprise some of you guys at home and listening to us and my 2 co-hosts as well. The mango. You guys know this episode?
No,
I'm not familiar.
The opening of season 5 of the greatest sitcom of all time starts off with Jerry, George, Elaine, and Kramer sitting out at the coffee shop, and Jerry. I mean, we're a PG-13 show, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry, and for those I'm going with this, good for you. They're like, Jerry says, they're talking about a certain O word that we're going to try and keep PG-13 here for a second that people like to do. And what happens is, Jerry and Elaine really talk because they're let's not forget Jerry and Elaine are both ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, but they're just friends in the show.
Oh,
Elaine's like, well, you didn't know. Oh, snap. And Jerry's like, what do you mean I didn't know? He's like, the panting, the moaning, the crying, the screaming. Fake.
so oops, they did it again.
Oops, they did it. And Jerry and Elaine actually, like, yes, she's like, at the very end, towards the end of the episode, she's like, Jerry's like, no, Elaine's like, Jerry, we have to have sex to save the friendship. Sex to save the friendship. Well, if we have to, we have to. So funny.
Oh,
I love it. It's very like adult, but it's like it's funny adult at the same time. I love this episode to death, and it's so funny. And then the other subplot line is that Kramer gets banned from Joe's fruit store. He's like, I love your mangoes, Joe. He's like, all right, Kramer, you can't come out here anymore. Get out of here. It's so funny.
But you know what? I realized with that fruit store, look at the prices that are in the 90s. Come
49 cents per pound or whatever, or each.
Why can't this be now?
Another conversation for another time, I guess.
I know.
But yeah,
thanks inflation.
Yeah, thanks inflation. But anyways, Jerry and George, Jerry and Elaine actually like they get back at it and whatever. And it's like sex to save the friendship. Well, if we have to, we have to. So they do it. And that's the end of the episode. But it's so but you have to see like fake. She faked, doing it. It's hysterical. Cracks me up every time. But now we go on to our number 1 Seinfeld episodes here on the Super.
And this is when Allie tell me what I did. All right.
You put the soup Nazi low. was my number one because this was the reason I love Seinfeld. Because of this one episode.
Listen, I agree with you. It's an iconic episode, but I find the other ones I had more funny.
I tend to agree.
Thank you.
I love it to death. I love it to death, but you know what I mean, so.
I mean, Schmoopy, come on, you can't get the Schmoopy out of you.
You're Schmoopy. All right, Schmoopies.
And the way to order, and then realizing the armoire Elaine wanted in the end had the recipes for his soups. Oh my goodness. And the only reason why she went in there was to get Kramer a soup.
Hysterical.
Oh my goodness. So in other words, if this didn't happen, then Elaine wouldn't have been banned, but who knew? Who knew what would happen?
Who knows?
No.
But imagine being in a restaurant like this nowadays.
Oh, forget it.
Investigations.
Well, there'd be so many.
But in the end, no soup for you guys.
No sofrio.
No,
Come
super
back.
you.
Wow.
How much you want to bet that guy probably gets tired? Like every time they see him, hey, do the line, say the line. No soup for you.
Oh, Larry Thomas was the one who did the soup Nazi?
I guess so.
Honestly, that'd be like somebody like Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, I guess so.
He probably could have done it better if they had to bring that back one.
If they had to.
With the Borat in
Oh,
there.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, Bill.
Just remember how to order, people.
My number one, The Revenge.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, I know this one. Yeah. Go on.
For those who haven't seen this one, George quits his job. And because of something with the men's room, George making something out of nothing.
Oh, wow.
And then he finds out he really can't do anything else. And then Jerry gives him the advice of, just go back and pretend it never happened.
Damn.
And funny side story, that was actually based off a true thing when Larry David used to work for Saturday Night Live and he abruptly quit and somebody advised him, go back and pretend it never happened. And it actually worked.
Wow.
And by the way, Lorne Michaels, if you are watching, you better have Larry David as Bernie Sanders this week for that certain incident that happened this week in the Senate.
Agree.
You better call Larry David back. You better call him back.
SNL, we know where you're going with this.
And I love Larry David as Bernie on SNL. Like
these people.
I'll get back to this in a second, but I remember I've said this before. They had Larry David and Bernie on the Today Show together, and they said, "Hey, if he gets elected president, that means you're going to have to fly back and play him on SNL, going like, I don't know if I can do it with my schedule." And then Bernie goes, "Why are you complaining? I'm giving you a good job for the next 4 years, and you're complaining." But anyway,
Come on.
But yeah, that was actually based on Larry David's thing with Saturday Night Live. But anyway, he comes back and the boss ends up firing him.
George, you're fired.
Crazy.
The boss ends up firing George. And then he decides to get his revenge by going to the anniversary party and slipping a Mickey.
Ooh.
Which is illegal, by the way.
Yeah, literally.
In his boss's drink.
Fun.
My favorite part of that, is like there's that woman goes, "I thought you were fired." Goes, "Let me sit here or the wig comes off." I don't wear a wig, one, and she leaves. And he slips it, he drinks it, and he got fired again. It doesn't show what happened, but yeah. And the subplot is pretty funny. Jerry loses money in the laundromat because he left it in his clothes.
Yeah.
And the owner has a sign goes, I'm not responsible for your valuables. I'm going, this is my country. I'm the president. That's my constitution. And George and Kramer and Jerry and Kramer basically sabotage the machines. And he has to end up paying the guy back anyway. And also the subplot, okay, do not make fun of this. Newman tries to...
But it's Newman.
Off himself. And I'm not trying to play this for laughs. I'm not trying to play this for laughs. If you are struggling with those type of thoughts, please go get help.
No.
But I love the end of the episode when Newman is yelling to George. I mean, not to George, to Kramer. He goes, do you want to shoot some pool tonight? I can't. I'm going to the movies. But this is like my favorite episode. I just remember this being so damn funny. And this episode will always have a special place in my heart.
Nice. Well, I guess it comes down to me, doesn't it?
I am curious to know what your number one is.
The fearless host of the Super Review Show might get some criticism for this.
Go on.
Maybe not. We're gonna have to see. But the fire.
Oh yes.
This.
Why do I not remember this episode?
Oh my God, Allie. It's genius. You know who that is? The clown?
Oh.
Jon Favreau, the director of Iron Man.
Really?
Get out of here.
Legitimately, that is Jon Favreau. He's like, I don't know who Bozo the Clown is, buddy. That's Jon Favreau from the director of Iron Man.
Wow.
The clown is Jon Favreau, the Academy level director of Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Chef, and many other classic films in the past 15, 20 years. Kid you not. He's Happy Hogan in the MCU. He's also Bozo the Clown.
Yes, he is.
So now we know why he's happy.
That's not the gist of the episode, though. So the gist of yes, there's a fire, and George gets really like upset and whatnot. But this is one part of the episode. The other storyline part of the episode is that Jerry gets heckled by a comedian, by Kramer's girlfriend. Toby.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Okay. You see where I'm going with this? There's a scene where Kramer is. Oh, I gotta imitate this thing. Sorry, it's hysterical. Kramer literally was like, "Why is it?" Because she went to her place and heckled Jerry, so Jerry went to go heckle her at her office. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She runs out of the building, and a street sweeper runs over her foot and severs her pinky toe.
Oh.
Ridiculous and hysterical. But hear me out for a sec. What happens? Right? What happens here? Why did you go up there to heckle her for? Well, she came down to the club and heckled me. I gave her a taste of her own medicine. Oh, yeah. You gave her a taste of medicine, all right. I didn't want her to have an accident. What accident? Well, after he heckled Toby, she got so upset she ran out of the building, and a street sweeper ran over her foot and severed her pinky toe. That's unbelievable. Then after the ambulance, this is Kramer talking. After the ambulance left, I found the toe. So I put it in a Cracker Jack box, filled it with ice, and took off to the hospital. You ran? No, I jumped on the bus. I told the driver, I got a toe here, buddy. Step on it. Holy cow. Then all of a sudden, this guy pulls out a gun. So I knew any delay is going to cost her pinky toe. So I started walking towards him. He's like, where do you think you're going, Cracker Jack? Well, I got a little prize for you, buddy. But yeah. Knocked him out cold. How would you do that? Then everybody is screaming because the driver, he's passed out because of all the commotion. The bus is out of control. So I got hit by the collar. I take him out of the scene. I get behind the wheel. Now I'm driving the bus. So Kramer's driving the bus now. This is all in one scene, and it's priceless. Words cannot describe it. It's just hysterical. Then Jerry Simon and George like, you're Batman. Yeah, I am Batman. Then the mugger, he comes to, he starts choking me. So I'm fighting him up one hand. I kept driving the bus with the other, Then I managed to kick them out the door with, my foot, at the next stop. You kept making all the stops. Well, people kept ringing the bell. Gold scene. I love that scene to death. And then Kramer and George like, you did all this for a pinky toe? Well, it's a valuable appendage, George.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. The Kramer scene is hysterical. It's my top scene in all of Seinfeld.
I
More
hope
than the
Justin's watching this.
I know. Hopefully,
Better be watching, Justin.
he is. I kept an eye
You
on
got some watching to do.
it. It's time to binge. It's on Netflix, so binge watch it. You know, Bozo the Clown.
You got some revenge with a fire of a super Nazi.
Yes,
So I think that's it.
I guess in the wise words of Imagine Dragons, Bill,
There's nothing left to say now.
we want to thank you all for watching, listening. However, you enjoyed us tonight. I want to thank the cast and crew of the Super Review Show. Mixed bag, of course, Bill and Allie. Justin, of course, couldn't join us tonight, but that's okay. I want to thank Allie and Bill for doing, as always, coming up with great topics and supporting this incredible podcast we love to do called Mixed Bag. And we want to thank you all for watching, listening. However, you enjoyed us tonight. Sound off in the comment section below and tweet us, or not tweet, just DM us on our social medias at Super Review Show. Have you seen Seinfeld? What are your top 10 episodes? Were there any episodes that we didn't touch on? Let us know out there. What do you guys are thinking out there? Sound off below. And I'd like to thank Bill and Allie, of course, for doing this podcast with me as always.
Thank you well, it's always a pleasure to do it here.
We're in it for the long haul, baby. And Bill, you have something going on.
Don't forget to check the Sports Insanity podcast on the Sports Insanity Network. And guys, keep an eye out. I actually do have a special vlog project that's set to drop next week. So please check that out. I've been working very hard on it. That's why I couldn't binge watch Seinfeld on Netflix, because I had to work on that thing.
That's very important thing, right?
It's very important.
And it's a thing. And thank you, Allie, for coming with this topic. It was one of the worst for a long time. So
I've been wanting to do this, and I've had it set up, and I was like, I think we have a week. This is the week to do it, especially to celebrate Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah,
Did Seinfeld have a Thanksgiving episode?
They've had a couple. I forget what
we did the one Thanksgiving movie episode, which was that was a pain to do.
It was a pain because there's not too many Thanksgiving movies.
There's really not any Thanksgiving movies out there.
They're all about
movies that go watch the episode.
Well, now there's a horror Thanksgiving movie coming out tomorrow.
We could talk about that too, but that's besides the point. So anyways, what ultimately, guys, you guys have to say out there. Thanks so much for watching, listening, however you enjoy us tonight. So for all of us here at the Super Review Show, stay safe.
Take care.
And